Okay, it's been a long time since I've uploaded anything. Part of the reason for that was we did have a very kind of a rough winter. I think last winter was probably worse, but I don't mind shoveling snow and I like the winter, but when I have to shovel so close together, one storm after another, it kind of monopolizes my time. And then, as the title tells you, March 23rd, I had my tonsils out. Now, the background with that is pretty much for as long as I can remember, since I was probably a young teenager, about 14, I had enlarged tonsils that had tonsil stones in them, which, if you know what that is, it's basically a combination of food and bacteria that forms these little stones, these little particles, and they get stuck in crevices that you form in your tonsils, and they would kind of choke me. I would feel them sitting in the back of my throat, and they would make me want to gag. And for years and years and years, I would take a mirror, a barbecue skewer, and a flashlight, and I would go in and I would poke them out, which is probably not a very bright thing to do, and it's probably kind of a dangerous thing to do, you know. So I did this for years and years, and I used to sing, and I would go to ear, nose, and throat doctors because I would get phlegm caught while I was singing and look for some help with that. And they would all say, oh, there's nothing we can do for you for that, but we can take your tonsils out. But there was never really, for years, a real medical necessity in taking them out. And then last summer, I noticed little red, what looked like cold sores on the back of my throat. So that started to get me concerned. And then the tonsils themselves started to make kind of weird shapes. They looked like little arms were trying to protrude out of them or something. It was kind of weird. So I broke down and I finally decided to go see an ear, nose, and throat doctor. And he said, he says, you have really big crevices in them, and they really can cause abscess over time if you let them go, and I would recommend you have them out. And he said, while I'm in there, I don't think those little red things in the back of your throat are anything to worry about, but I'll biopsy them while I'm in there. So I thought, okay, let's go for it. So I scheduled it right before the kids would go on their spring break. You know, I have 2 kids. I have 4 kids, but I have 2 that are still in high school. So I thought, well, if I do it right, I couldn't do it right as they went into spring break because they only operate on Mondays. So I had to do it a week. I did it a week before. So because I was told that I would be on narcotics for pain, and that I would not be able to drive basically for 3 weeks. But what ended up happening was I had them March 23rd, so that's about 5 weeks ago. And what happened was I really, I took the pain medicine, but it really didn't help me at all. Actually made me feel worse. One day I woke up after having taken it, the back of my neck hurt as well as my throat. And it wasn't really a lot of pain per se. It was more difficulty in swallowing. And I just ended up taking ibuprofen. So when I would have a little bit of pain, I would take ibuprofen, wait 4 to 6 hours. If I couldn't swallow again, I take it again. So the actual surgery wasn't that bad, except for the nurses that were in the unit. They couldn't start my IV. My veins were too small. So I was in tears at that point. They kept poking me and poking me. So finally they had the anesthesiologist put in the IV, and that he did it like that. So God bless the ones who can get it in there right away, because it's tough when they're poking you trying to start an IV. So I went out and woke up, and I went home that day, and I had to be on it like a kind of like a soft diet. So I could only eat, I was to keep it wet initially. If I didn't keep it really wet, I could possibly bleed out and I'd have to go back in and be cauterized. So I didn't want to go through that, because you get what they call scabs in the back of your throat. And they're little, like, they don't really look like a scab as you picture a scab. They're just white. At first it was a lot of stuff that looked like curds and whey, like cottage cheese almost. And eventually I either spit that up or swallowed it. But then you just have this white coating in the back of your throat. And so eventually that gets smaller and smaller. And now I'll have to look, but I'm at the point where that's almost gone. So I had to eat things. First I had to eat a lot of popsicles and drink a lot of water and so on. And then I was able to have warm things, but not cold things. So I had a lot of scrambled eggs for breakfast, macaroni and cheese, not the kind you boil, but the kind that's frozen that you cook, because I thought it would be creamier. So like Stouffer's, and then mashed potatoes. So I bought, already made mashed potatoes, and kind of messed up my diet a little bit, but I'm kind of getting back on track at this point. But yeah, so a lot of soft things. Eventually I added oatmeal. And then by the second week, I had my appointment. By the second week, he said I could go back on a regular diet, and I was glad, because I was really tired of that diet. So, yeah, it's kind of rough to have this done when you're my age. I'm 55, but I'm glad I didn't wait any longer. I wish I had done it maybe a little sooner. I'm glad they're gone, and I'm glad I'm on the mend, more or less. So, okay, I'm going to upload a couple videos today, probably. I was going to do a hair video. I dyed my hair today, but it didn't come out like I really wanted it. So we'll see. When I find the solution, I'll make the video about that. And I had a big bout with acne before I had the surgery, and that also stopped me from uploading videos. Really horrible. I kept going to Ulta. I kept buying Mario Badescu products, which helped somewhat, but it was definitely some kind of hormonal thing. It was around my chin and my nose, mostly my chin. When I had the tonsils out, I was put on antibiotics, and that wiped it right out. And so far, it hasn't come back. If it comes back, I'm going to either search out a dermatologist or go to the Minute Clinic at CVS or something like that to get antibiotics again, or some other medical solution, because the topical stuff, when it's hormonal, it's not going to work. So, all right, that's what's in a nutshell what's up with me. Try to upload a little bit more often, and have a good day. Oh, and subscribe, share if possible. If you can follow me on Twitter. I have a little Facebook fan page now. You can find all these things on my channel page right in the top right hand corner. I have a Pinterest page. And yeah, please don't unsubscribe. I've lost a couple of people recently, and I don't know why, but don't do that. And please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And oh, and please sign up for my newsletter. I have a little newsletter. I write it once a month. I did miss February, but other than that, pretty much I've been loyal with it, constant with it. And just, it's information about the topics that I cover in my channel, but it's different things than what I upload. It's pretty short, about a paragraph for each section. Dolls, paranormal information, and skincare, basically. Okay? So, yeah, have a great day. Thanks for watching.